and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't been here before, welcome. It's great to have you here. Don't forget to hit the little subscribe button. And if you're a return visitor, welcome back. Now, in these videos, I do previews and reviews of major global sporting events. And in just a few hours' time, we're going to see the men's semi-finals get underway at the US Tennis Open in New York City. And this video is going to be a preview of those two matches. Now, it's been an extraordinary US Open this year for a number of reasons. The first one, of course, Serena Williams playing in what is expected to be her last match against Ajla Tomljanovic from Australia. And what a crowning jewel it was for the US Open to have Serena bowing out in the way that she did. A phenomenal athlete, 23 major championships. And who knows, we might see Serena back at the Australian Open in January. Only time will tell about that. But this US Open has also been thrilling from another point of view, and that is in the men's draw. We've seen so many upsets, and for the first time in the semi-finals today, we're seeing 4 players who have a chance to go through to win their first Grand Slam tournament. And many talk about the changing generation of men's tennis. Well, we're seeing it this year. And after Rafael Nadal was beaten by one of the 4 semi-finalists we're going to talk about today, there was a lot of the old faces that we're familiar with are no longer in the tournament. So as I said, the semi-finals start to get underway in just a few hours' time at Flushing Meadows, and I'm going to be doing a preview right here, right now, about these 2 matches. So first of all, we're going to see Casper Ruud from Norway up against Karen Khachnanov of Russia. And this is quite an intriguing match because these two have had different journeys through this particular tournament. And before I give my prediction for this match, why don't we have a look at the actual journeys of these 2 players in this tournament. Let's start off with Casper Ruud, who is ranked number 5 in this tournament. And let's have a look at his journey throughout the different rounds. So let's take a look at Casper Ruud's pathway to the semi-final today. In the first round, he came up against Carl Edmund from the UK and ended up winning that one fairly easily in 3 straight sets. In the second set, Edmund nearly closed it out, but Edmund's coming back from a long-term injury and played very well in this match, but Ruud took care of business. In round number 2, he played Tim van Hoven from the Netherlands, and it was 4 sets. Van Hoven got the first set, and then Casper got into gear and won 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. So a good win there. Difficult round number 3 for Casper. He's up against Tommy Paul, who was playing fantastic tennis. Had physical problems in the 5th set, and it was 6-love to Casper in that 5th set, but it was tiebreakers all the way, and extremely close match. Tommy Paul, who's ranked 29 in this tournament, played outstanding tennis. And that was a really, really good result for Casper in that match. The round of 16 saw Casper up against Mutu from France, and a 4-set match ensued here. Mutu got the 3rd set 7-6 in a tiebreaker, and closed out in 4 sets by 6 games to 2 in the 4th set. And then Berrettini was the next one on Casper's pathway, and the quarterfinal match was, well, before it was played, it was going to be seen as a really, really tough match for Casper Ruud, but unfortunately, Berrettini just didn't turn up on the day, and it was a 3 straight set win to Casper Ruud, 7-6 in the 3rd set. So that's how Ruud got through to today's semi-final. So Casper Ruud's had a fairly, I don't want to say easy, but he's had a very good path to the semi-final today. He's only played 1 5-set match, and of course when you get to this stage of a tournament, of a Grand Slam tournament, the stamina, the physicality, it has a big bearing on the outcome of matches as you get deeper into the tournament. Now let's look at Karen Khachnanov's journey into the semi-final today, and he was in round number 1 up against Gudla from the United States, and he took care of business there pretty well. In round 2, Monteiro from Brazil was his opponent, and again Khachnanov did that pretty easily. Round 3 against Draper in the UK, it was a different story though, and Draper was playing great tennis, but unfortunately he had to pull out, and ended up with Khachnanov having a walkover in that particular match. And then Carreño Busta in the round 4, or the round of 16 as we call it. And another tight opponent here for Khachnanov to take care of, but he did that no problem at all, in fact. And then into the quarterfinals, and he came up against Nick Kyrgios, who maybe has been the player of the year so far. In terms of consistency, he's been able to put some of his demons to rest, and we've seen some of the great tennis that Nick's been playing, but unfortunately it was a 5-set match that didn't go in Nick's favour, and Khachnanov got up and won that 6-3 in the 5th set. So that was probably his toughest match of the tournament, and Khachnanov has played 2 5-setters on his way to today's semi-final. So whether or not that's going to have a bearing on this match, I don't think it is too much. I think Casper Ruud is going to be too strong for Khachnanov. I think Ruud is playing fantastic tennis. He's on the way up in the world rankings, and in fact if he wins and gets through to the final today, he can actually become world #1. So I don't think that's going to be a big motivation for him. I think he's going to keep pretty steady. He's playing great tennis, and I think he's only got to keep doing what he's been doing to get through this match. I think it's going to be 4 sets, but I think Casper Ruud from Norway is going to get through to the final of the US Open this year, to be played on Sunday. Now, who's he going to play there? Well, let's look at the other half of the draw, and we've got 2 giant killers here in Carlos Alcaraz from Spain and Frances Tiafoe from the United States. And both these players have had their breakout tournament in different ways, I would say. And now it's time to have a look at their particular journey through to the semi-final today. Let's start off with Frances Tiafoe, who's currently ranked number 22 in the world. And in the first round, he was up against Giron from the United States, and he took care of business there pretty easily. And then it was Jason Kubler from Australia in round 2. Once again, Tiafoe did a great job there and got through that match, which could have been a little bit difficult. Round 3, up against Argentino Diego Schwartzman. Schwartzman can be a difficult customer, and he's been playing well in this US Open, but Frances took care of business there and beat Schwartzman in 3 straight sets. Then it was on to Rafael Nadal, and I think all the money was on Nadal from most of the pundits for this particular match, but Nadal has not been playing well in the US swing of tournaments, and we all understand why. He's got a lot on his mind with his pregnancy, of his wife's pregnant at the moment, and whether or not that distracted from his play in this particular match, we will never know, I guess. But Nadal went down losing to Tiafoe, and Tiafoe, don't take anything away from the guy, he played brilliant tennis, and he's really been able to take his tennis to another level during this US Open, and I think that's been a fantastic thing for Frances Tiafoe. So he then went on to his quarterfinal match against Andrei Rublev from Russia, and Rublev has been playing fantastic tennis also this year. A lot of people think that Rublev's style of play is fairly one-dimensional, and we saw that unravel against Tiafoe in the quarterfinal match, and Tiafoe was being able to play more dynamic from the back of the court. He was able to read the game of Rublev, and he overcame Rublev in the end fairly easy. So Frances Tiafoe's got through to the semi-final today without playing any 5-setters, and interestingly enough, which I think is going to be a big factor in this match today against Carlos Alcaraz, is that his semi-final finished 10 hours before, his quarterfinal finished 10 hours before Alcaraz did. So I think that we're going to see a fresher Frances Tiafoe today, and I think that's going to be something that is on his mind. His opponent today is Carlos Alcaraz, the 19-year-old Spanish giant who's following in the footsteps of Rafael Nadal, but certainly making his own footsteps in the tennis world. Currently ranked number 3 in the world, and he's had a very interesting path to today's semi-finals. He's played 2 5-setters, and he's played some very epic matches. In fact, he was down match points in his matches, so he's been up against the wall, Alcaraz, but he always seems to find a way through. In round number 1, he played against Baez from Argentina, took care of business there pretty easily, and it was on to another Argentinian in round 2, Correa, who didn't give him much resistance either. And then Brooksby from the US was a solid opponent in round 3, but he took care of business there. But then Marin Cilic from Croatia in round 4 was a difficult opponent. This went to 5 sets, and a difficult match for Alcaraz, but he got over top of the previous Grand Slam champion in Cilic. A lot of people thought Cilic was going to go all the way this year, and I was one of those that was betting on him being in the final. That wasn't to be the case though. Alcaraz took care of business, and then it was on to the quarterfinal to play another young generation player in Yannick Sinner from Italy, and boy, what a match did we get there. The only thing that I'll say about the downside of this match was that it finished at 3 a.m. in the morning, and unfortunately I think that's going to have a big impact on today's match for Alcaraz against Tiafoe, because Tiafoe is going to move Alcaraz around, he's going to make it physical, and I just don't know whether Alcaraz can back it up and overcome Tiafoe because of that reason. So an amazing match against Sinner. I think it'll go down in US Open history as one of the classics, that's for sure. Two young guns playing at the top of their game late into the night with shots that were just absolutely incredible, and it was a fantastic marketing tool for the game of tennis. So who do I think is going to win these two matches? Well, Casper, as I said, from Norway, is going to have too many guns for Khachnanov, and I think he's going to be a 4-set winner there. And I think Tiafoe and Alcaraz are going to go to 4 sets in favor of Tiafoe. I think that Alcaraz is just going to be too tired mentally and physically from that draining quarterfinal, and unfortunately that's going to rob him of the opportunity of getting through to the final at this year's US Open. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to see the 19-year-old get there, but I don't think the US Open organising committee have done anything in his favour in scheduling that game, that quarterfinal game, so late in the men's draw. So there's my picks for today's semi-finals. Who do you think is going to win? Let me know in the comments below. Check out the rest of my videos on YouTube, and please subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm doing here. Going to be covering a lot more sports. So until next time, stay safe and stay well everyone, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye until then.